Small talk, very small talk. Scientists have long studied how various creatures communicate. Dolphins in the water, chimpanzees on land, birds in flight. But insects, could they possibly have anything to say? Well, when it comes to the tiny ant, it turns out the answer may be yes. Here's Nick Watt.
Ants live in highly structured societies. They are masters of architecture and even agriculture. And now, scientists tell us, ants actually talk to each other.
Were you surprised by what you found?
We were. Yes, we were surprised.
Absolutely.
With an iPod and an old pair of headphones, they discovered worker ants are indifferent to rock music, but stand guard when a distressed queen makes this particular sound.
They stand on the speaker with their jaws, their mandibles opened, something like saying, "I'm defending my queen."
Now, no one is saying these little creatures talk like they do in the movies.
Now stay calm. We are going around the leaf.
Around the leaf? I don't think we can do that.
But they do have a kind of language.
Look at the back end of the ant. That's the abdomen moving up and down, vibrating. That's how ants make noise. That's how they, I suppose, talk to each other.
Scientists made these startling discoveries by accident while studying the large blue butterfly. They watched butterfly pupae trick ants into taking them to ant nests and nurturing them until they hatched. Why? Well, amazingly, the butterfly pupae imitate the ant queen's distinctive voice. Butterflies have learned to speak this mysterious ant language, a language humans have only just discovered. Nick Watt, ABC News, Turin.
Iron is one of the elements highlighted in the Quran. In Surat al-Hadid, meaning iron, we are informed, "And we sent down iron, in which there lies great force, and which it has many uses for mankind." The word "sent down," particularly used for iron in the verse, could be thought of having a metaphorical meaning to explain that iron is given to the service of people. But when we take into consideration the literal meaning of the word, which is being physically sent down from the sky, we realize that this verse implies a very significant scientific miracle. This is because modern astronomical findings have disclosed that the metal of iron found in our world has come down from giant stars in outer space. The heavy metals in the universe are produced in the nucleus of big stars. Our solar system, however, does not have a suitable structure to produce iron on its own. Iron can only be produced in much bigger stars than the Sun, where the temperature reaches a few 100 million degrees. When the amount of iron exceeds a certain level in a star, the star can no longer bear it, and eventually it explodes in what is called a nova or a supernova. As a result of this explosion, meteors containing iron are scattered around the universe, and they move through the void until attracted by the gravitational force of a celestial body. All this shows that the metal iron did not form on the Earth, but was carried from exploding stars in space via meteors and was sent down to Earth, exactly the same way as stated in the verse. It is clear that this fact could not have been scientifically known in the 7th century, when the Quran was revealed. And we sent down iron, in which there lies great force, and which has many uses for mankind. In addition, the 25th verse of Surat Al-Hadid, which refers to iron, includes two interesting mathematical codes. Surat Al-Hadid is the 57th surah in the Quran. The numerical value of the word Al-Hadid in Arabic, in other words, is Abjad, is the same number, 57. The numerical value of the word Hadid alone is 26, and 26 is the atomic number of iron. While referring to the sun and the moon in the Quran, it is emphasized that each moves in a certain orbit. It is He who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon. They swim along, each in an orbit. It is mentioned in another verse too, that the sun is not static, but moves in a certain orbit. And the sun runs to its resting place. That is the decree of the Almighty, the All-Knowing. These facts communicated in the Quran have been discovered by astronomical observations in our age. According to the calculations of experts on astronomy, the sun is travelling at the enormous speed of 720,000 kilometers an hour in the direction of the star Vega in a particular orbit called the solar apex. This means that the sun travels roughly 17,280,000 kilometers a day. Along with the sun, all planets and satellites within the gravitational system of the sun also travel the same distance. In addition, all the stars in the universe are in a similar planned motion. That the entire universe is full of paths and orbits such as this one is inscribed in the Quran as follows: by the sky full of paths and orbits. There are about 200 billion galaxies in the universe, consisting of nearly 200 billion stars in each. Most of these stars have planets, and most of those planets have satellites. All of these heavenly bodies move in very precisely computed orbits. For millions of years, each has been swimming along in its own orbit in perfect harmony and order with all the others. Moreover, many comets also move along in the orbits determined for them. The orbits in the universe do not only belong to celestial bodies. the galaxies also travel at enormous speeds in computed, planned orbits. During these movements, none of these celestial bodies cut across another's path or collide with another. Indeed, it has been observed that some galaxies pass through each other with none of their components touching each other. Surely, at the time the Quran was revealed, humankind did not possess today's telescopes or advanced observation technologies to observe space in a range of millions of kilometers, nor the modern knowledge of physics or astronomy. Therefore, at that time, it was not possible to determine scientifically that space is full of paths and orbits, as stated in the verse. However, this was openly declared to us in the Quran that was revealed at that time, because the Quran is the Word of God.
Gökleri ve yeri hak olarak yarattı. Geceyi gündüzün üstüne sarıp örtüyor, gündüzü de gecenin üstüne sarıp örtüyor. Bu ayette sarıp örtmek olarak tercüme edilen Arapça kelime tekvirdir. Tekvirin tam karşılığı ise yuvarlak bir şeyin üzerine bir cisim sarmaktır. Dolayısıyla ayette gece ve gündüzün dünyanın üzerinde tekvir edildiği bildirilerek dünyanın yuvarlak olduğuna işaret edilmektedir. Oysa Kur'an'ın indirildiği dönemde dünya düz bir yüzey olarak düşünülüyordu. Dünyanın yuvarlak olduğu bilinmiyordu. Bu devirde vahyedilen Kur'an'ın dünyanın yuvarlaklığına işaret etmesi, kutsal kitabımızın Allah'ın sözü olduğunun sayısız delilinden biridir.
In a universe so vast, is there any hope of us traveling fast enough so that we could visit the far-off realms of space? Will we ever be able to plant a flag in the most distant quadrants of the cosmos?
We are not going to achieve interstellar flight in our lifetime. We may be as far from reaching other stars as Leonardo da Vinci was from realizing an airplane. He had the idea, but it took another 400 years before that began flight.
Even so, it hasn't stopped scientists from imagining the theoretical possibilities of interstellar travel. One such possibility is a cosmic freak show, a much theorized portal through space called a wormhole.
So a wormhole is basically a thin tube of space that connects two very, very distant parts of space. So it's almost like a tunnel. It's a little part of space. You go in there and you pop out somewhere else in the universe.
A tunnel through space. A shortcut through the billions of light years separating the farthest ends of the universe. It begs the question of how anything could bore a hole through space.
A wormhole is basically like a tunnel through space itself that can connect one region to another region potentially very far away. So to illustrate that, we're taking space and imagining it as this two-dimensional sheet of paper. So we have a wormhole mouth that you can go in, and then the other end is a place you can go out. So you imagine a tunnel that goes into there and comes out of there. And you might say, well, it would take me longer to get from one place to another if I went through that tunnel than if I just took the direct route through ordinary space. But the point is that Einstein tells us that space and time are curved, they're flexible. So we can imagine picking up this piece of paper and curling these two regions so that they're close to each other. Then you go into that end of the wormhole, you come outside the other end, and there's a shortcut in between them in which the distance is not that much. So the wormhole provides a way that you can travel what appears to be a very long distance in a very short period of time.
And it's for that reason that wormholes have found a special place in science fiction.
If you want to write a science fiction novel, you might want to be able to get across the galaxy very quickly, and you don't want to be limited by the speed of light. So a wormhole can be a shortcut. It can be a way to get around all of the space that you have to travel through. If you believe that the speed of light really is a speed limit, you can't go faster than the speed of light, a wormhole provides you a way, maybe, to still go slower than the speed of light, but get to where you want to go much faster because the distance is much shorter. It's really just a shortcut through space itself.
A wormhole might also empty into another time. That's because wormholes are portals through the fabric of space and time. While they could theoretically link different locations in space, they could also theoretically link up different locations in time.
Because space and time are mixed up together, you could actually not only end up in a different part of space by going through the wormhole, but you could also end up in the past. You could end up in a different part of time. You could go into your own past and then come visit yourself before you entered the beginning of the wormhole.
So you could have a wormhole that goes from your living room to your dining room. They might be 5 years apart. So you enter one this year, and you come back 5 years ago. And if you take the paper with you, you've got some good chances of doing well in the stock exchange.